Ladies and gentlemen, it is game one of the World Series as the Arizona Diamondbacks are on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. It's Austin joined by Logan. Let's recap the last time you saw us for MLB. I believe that was on Tuesday. It was an 0-1 day in that game seven. Marte did his job. Marte was absolutely scorched earth in the NLCS, but Trey Turner, I know Logan's in pain. Trey Turner and a lot of the Phillies hitters just did not show up in those game 6 and 7. And 0-1 day. We're up about 1.5 units this postseason. Hopefully, we can finish this World Series strong with you all. And we're going to dive into our favorite picks, who we think wins this game. And maybe we'll talk about some other things as the day goes on. But before we dive into that, I do want to talk real quick about Bet365. They have a great offer, and I want you guys to take advantage. You can they have two offers. You can take advantage of either of them, but you can either get $150 in bonus bets or a first bet safety net up to $1,000 in bonus bets. To claim it, top link in description, choose your offer, and collect your bonuses. It's available in New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Kentucky, Colorado, and Iowa. If you have, or you're in one of those states, I strongly advise you to get Bet365. They have the best odds on a lot of different markets. So especially in we've seen it, we talked about that in the MLB, but also in the NFL, and you'll see them in the NBA videos. They have great odds out there. So take advantage. We have a ton of different content coming your guys' way. We're in that weird part of the season where not only do we have MLB still going, we have NBA's now back, and we have NFL still cooking, and college football. So there's a ton of different content on the channel. I won't link any of those videos on the screen, but they will be linked at the end of this video. So definitely go check out that and hit that subscribe button. But Logan, I'll let you tackle this game one of the series. What are you going with in this one?
Yeah, I would like to be picking a side, but we need to feel out game one a little bit. Right now, though, I'm taking the Diamondbacks team total under 3.5 total runs, minus 120 odds on Caesars, currently your best value there. Now, in game one of the World Series, I would lean Rangers to win, but this bet should be a little bit easier, to cash with just the Diamondbacks team total under. Austin and I have talked about all season long. We kind of like these team total bets because you get to isolate the variables to just the starting pitcher and bullpen versus that specific team. I don't care really what the Rangers bats do. If the Diamondbacks win this game 1-0, congrats to them, right? They just need to stay under 4 runs, and I think they get that done today. Again, I lean Rangers, but is there a ton of value on the money line? No, you really do have to go right to the run line. Imagine Austin and I coming on in this show and giving you a minus 170 pick. How would you feel about that? But let's talk about the Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi is starting for the Rangers. 2.42 ERA and a .96 whip in the postseason. Eovaldi has been just lights out in the postseason. He's really impressed the heck out of me. They call him Big Game Nate for a reason. Eovaldi has won at least 6 innings pitched in all 3 postseason starts and has an earned run log of 2, 3, and 1 earned runs so far in the postseason. So we've seen what he's been able to do. He's been able to really go out and give his team a chance to win, and that's I think kind of why we see the Rangers pretty decent favorites in this one. The majority of this Diamondbacks roster hasn't seen Eovaldi before as well, which definitely is the benefit of the pitcher. Carroll, Walker, Marte, Moreno all have 0 plate appearances. Those are going to be the key guys that I'll talk about in a little bit. But look, if Eovaldi has the edge, definitely first few times through the order, it's going to take him a while to adjust. Now, maybe later in the series when Eovaldi faces them again, maybe they get to him there. But definitely not in game one. I expect Eovaldi to go out and use his ability to get out of the runners in scoring position. He was like Houdini in that Astros series. The Astros would have runners in scoring position. Nathan Eovaldi would get the timely strikeout or ground ball. He's one of the rare pitchers that he can pitch to contact, get you to roll over on ground balls, but he can also strike you out, which I just love a guy like that. And definitely a guy I want to back today. I mentioned what he did in the Astros series, pressed the hell out of me. I got to back him in this one. Now, the question with this Diamondbacks, I have actually several questions with this Diamondbacks team. Number one, is there any emotional hangover from the series versus the Phillies? Look, you went on the road. You won the last 2 road games you needed. That was a huge series. Now, in a sort of quick turnaround, you have to travel to Texas, and you have to once again be road warriors. Is there a little bit of, hangover from that last series? Potentially, but also, that NLCS win was seen as an upset. It definitely was an upset. The Phillies have a lot bigger payroll, but it's not like the Diamondbacks overpowered them with offense. I promise you, it was just frustrating because the Phillies they had all the potential to score. They just didn't. The Diamondbacks only hit 236 as a team in the NLCS. You would think it would have been a lot, higher or whatever. they just won close, low-scoring games, and that's what ended up doing it. With several of these players' first World Series appearance, I imagine the nerves will be there, and they'll look a little tight in this game. That's definitely, a potential question mark I have until they go out and show me that they're just going to be, swinging like they did with the timely hits in the last series. I've got my questions, and those are valid, and I still don't think this Arizona roster is all that balanced. It relies heavily on Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll. Obviously, Ketel Marte was ridiculous last round, but outside of those two, it's going to be Christian Walker Moreno and Geraldo Perdomo really doing the timely hitting. Because if those guys get on base, like we have to look at this Rangers pitching staff, and they have to know how this Diamondbacks team is, and it ain't balanced. I mean, say what you want. If Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll didn't do the heroics that they did, the Diamondbacks team would not be scoring like they would. They might have a solo home run here and there, but you go look at Christian Walker, a guy that they expect a whole lot out of. He's only hitting 179 in the playoffs. Tommy Pham also batting in an important position. He's only hitting 214. So as I mentioned, if you somehow pitch around Corbin Carroll and you pitch around Ketel Marte, yes, they could steal whatever, but I would rather do that than challenge the rest of I would rather challenge the rest of the Diamondbacks roster to get those timely hitting that they did get in the last round. Because you know what? You got to do it consistently for me to really back you. And we look at once Nathan Eovaldi does come out of this game, Texas has a great bullpen with a 3.72 postseason ERA. Now, some of those numbers did get a little inflated when the game got out of hand in that Astros series, but they were great when they needed to be in that Houston series. Starting pitching was great, bullpen was great, all the pitching was great for the Rangers. For me to really think of the Diamondbacks as a live dog today, I have to see it to believe it first. You can call me a hater, you can call me whatever you want. I really don't care. I just know that when we're looking at Game 1 of the World Series, for the Diamondbacks to really come out and just score 4+ runs in this one, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they stay under that 3.5 team total, and I think the Rangers pitching staff definitely keeps them at bay.
Yeah, when I was looking at this game, the fact that we got an over-under at 7.5, I think is pretty telling. I mean, when they expect a lot of runs to come in a game, they normally are putting it up to 8.5. We've seen that all postseason, really all season long. The fact you're getting a 7.5 number, interesting. I think that this is a good spot to back the D-backs team total under. We saw them kind of struggle in those first two games in the bank when they had a couple days off, then they had to go into the bank, and that's how it happens. I mean, you think about guys that like the D-backs, and heck, even the Rangers, they might show a little bit of rest the first, game of the series, or at least their first at bat or two, given they haven't swung their bats in a couple days. But I was looking at the odds for the series. I'm sure we would have given out a pick, but I see the Rangers are also minus 175 to win the World Series. So there's really not a ton of value that I'm seeing, Logan. I mean, if it was closer to minus, I don't know. I assume you think the Rangers win the World Series, though?
Yeah, the Rangers are the team that I would definitely back to win the World Series. Again, you're laying massive juice. Honestly, like what I would probably do is see if the Diamondbacks steal one of these, first few games, and then maybe you could live bet them to win the World Series. But again, the Rangers are just the team that they check a lot of boxes for me. They have a bullpen that was bad in the regular season, but has been great in the postseason, sort of actually like the Diamondbacks. But they just have the consistent hitting 1 through 9. Like I said, I think the Diamondbacks roster is just a little more imbalanced. You rely on a few guys. Look, 1 through 9, Leody Taveras can go out and get a multi-hit game. That wouldn't surprise me. Semien and Seager, so talented. You got Young. You've got, even Nate Lowe, who's the more the forgotten guy batting down near the bottom of the order, just because that's kind of where he fell. He's still a really talented hitter. I just think this Diamondbacks, pitching staff and bullpen are going to be way up against it. I think their bullpen way outperformed themselves in that Philly series. I think they come crashing back down to earth in this Rangers series. I would let's each give a game prediction as well. I think we see Rangers in 5.
I think Rangers in 6. I think they finish it out at home, but I think it's going to be. I mean, look, if the D-backs win it all, I'd be happy for them. I think this is one of the best, one of the weirder. I mean, if you told us at the beginning of the year we'd get Diamondbacks versus Rangers, I think a lot of those fans have been like, you're out of your mind. But the fact we're here, this is what's awesome about playoff baseball. Anything can happen. So I think we're in for a good series. I don't think the D-backs are going to just roll over. We've seen them kind of fight every single game this postseason. So we'll see how the series goes. We'll be back for game 2 for our favorite picks. As always, we have a ton of other content on the channel. I'll throw up a bunch of them. Plus, if you want to go check out my Victor Wembanyama first ever game on the second channel, definitely go show that video some love. But Austin Logan signing out. We'll be back again for the next one in game 2. Hopefully we'll go 1-0, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.